I thought forgiving her would save our marriage. Until I found out who she cheated with. It didn't mean anything, she said, but it was my own brother. He told me. It just happened, like that made it better. Now she's pregnant. And had the nerve to say, "Don't worry, it's not yours." Hey Reddit. First time posting here, so sorry if this is long or kinda rambly. I just need to get this off my chest because my brain's been stuck in a blender the past few weeks. I, 32M, found out my wife, let's call her Rachel, 30F, cheated on me. And yeah, that's already hell. But the real kicker? I forgave her. I genuinely tried to work through it. Thought we could fix things. But then, I found out who it was with. And everything shattered. I'm not even sure what to do anymore. I'm still living in that "did this seriously happen" days. Anyway, let me start from the top. So we've been married for 5 years. Together for 8. We have a 4-year-old daughter, Emma, who is literally the light of my life. Our relationship wasn't perfect. We had stress, bills, parenting fatigue, all that jazz. But I always thought we had something real. Deep down, I honestly thought she was my forever person. And then, one Tuesday night, everything flipped. We were chilling on the couch watching The Office reruns. Rachel got up to take a shower. I was about to scroll through TikTok on her phone. We share phones all the time, literally never been a big deal, when a message popped up. Just one notification. Last night was risky, but so worth it smirking face. No name. Just that. I stared at it for a solid 10 seconds like my brain needed to reboot. I'm not proud of this next part, but yeah, I opened her phone. No passcode. We've always had full access to each other's phones. I went into her messages and boom, the chat was gone. Deleted. That's when the alarm bells started going full nuclear in my head. I didn't say anything right away. She came back from the shower, and I pretended everything was normal. I sat there, smiling like an idiot, heart pounding in my chest, trying to figure out if I was overreacting or if I'd just seen the opening scene of my marriage dying. That night, I barely slept. Just laid in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling, while she snored like nothing had happened. The next morning, I asked casually, "Hey, who messaged you last night?" I figured if it was innocent, she'd just say it. But no, she blinked, froze for a second too long, and then laughed this awkward little laugh. "Oh, that was just Ashley. We were talking about this dumb show we watched. Nothing important." Liar. She was lying. I knew it, but I didn't want to go nuclear just yet, so I said, "Cool, can I see it?" Instant mood shift. She got quiet, then defensive, told me I was being paranoid, that I obviously don't trust her, and that this is why she doesn't tell me everything, because I freak out. And that's when I knew. People don't get that defensive over a text from their friend. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't scream. I just said, "Look, Rachel." I saw what it said. "Just be honest." Silence. Then her lips started trembling, and she muttered, "I didn't mean for it to happen." My heart just fell out of my body. She admitted she cheated. She said it happened about a month ago. They were drinking. She was in a weird headspace. Felt like I wasn't giving her enough attention, blah blah blah. All the classic excuses. Claimed it only happened once, and that it was a huge mistake. I didn't even know what to say. My body was shaking. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just sat down and stared at the kitchen counter while she stood there crying. The part that messed me up the most? She said she didn't tell me because she thought she could move past it alone. Like what? She cheats on me, and her plan was to carry that secret quietly like a little side quest, and just keep being my wife like nothing happened? But here's the messed up part. Reddit. I forgave her. Or at least, I tried to. I told her I was willing to go to couples therapy, that we could work through it. I wasn't ready to blow up our family over one mistake. I felt like I owed it to Emma to at least try. We had a few long, painful conversations. She swore she was done with whoever it was. Said she blocked them, deleted their number, cut them off completely. She even agreed to therapy without hesitation, which made me feel like maybe she did regret it. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe we could come back from this. But there was one detail she wouldn't give me. Who it was with. Every time I asked, she'd say, "It doesn't matter. They don't mean anything. They're not in our lives. I don't want to make things worse by dragging other people into this." That should have been a red flag the size of Texas. But I was still in shock. Still clinging to the idea that maybe this was just a really messed up bump in the road. Little did I know. I was sitting on a ticking bomb. And the person she slept with? Oh man, that's a whole new level of betrayal. but I'll get into that in part 2. So quick recap if you missed part 1. I caught a weird text on my wife Rachel's phone while she was showering, something flirty and shady. She tried to lie at first, but eventually confessed to cheating. Said it was a one-time mistake, swore it meant nothing, blah blah. I was crushed, but I didn't want to throw our family away, so I told her we could try therapy, work through it. All that mature crap people say when they're trying not to fall apart. Only thing was, she refused to tell me who the guy was. Said it didn't matter, and would only hurt me more. I let it slide at first, thinking she was just embarrassed or trying to protect me from more pain. But then little things started happening. The first thing that felt off was my brother, Mark. Now, Mark, 35M, and I have always been close. Not best friends, but we grew up sharing bunk beds, playing Halo until 2 a.m., going on road trips. Typical brothers. He's the more outgoing one, loud, flirty, always the life of the party. I was more chill, quiet, more of a homebody. But lately, Mark had been distant. Weirdly distant. He stopped coming by. He skipped Emma's birthday party, and she adores him. When I texted him to grab a beer and catch up, he left me on read. Twice. That dude never ignores me. Not even when he was in the hospital once for a busted ankle. I brought this up to Rachel, like, hey, have you noticed Mark acting strange? She barely blinked. Just went, oh? Huh. I haven't talked to him much lately either. Lie. Second weird moment. Rachel got a call late at night, around 11 p.m. She was in the kitchen when it rang, and I heard her say, can't talk now, I'll message you later, in this whispery voice. I asked who it was. She smiled, fake AF, and said it was a girl from her work, asking about a schedule change. At 11 p.m. Come on. Now, old me, the pre-betrayal version, would have just let it go. But my gut was on full alert now. I started noticing patterns. She was glued to her phone more than usual, turning it face down, deleting texts, laughing at random messages, but saying they were memes from coworkers. It was all the same playbook from part 1, just more careful now. Anyway, the final straw for me, the moment my suspicion turned into full-blown obsession, was when I was out grabbing coffee with my cousin's wife. She and Rachel used to be close, but drifted recently. We were just chatting when she said something like, so, you and Rachel good now? I nodded, playing it cool. Yeah, working on it. And then she drops this. I mean, I always thought she and Mark were a little too friendly, if you know what I mean. I froze. I just laughed it off at the time, pretending I didn't feel like vomiting into my cappuccino. But on the inside, I was spiraling. Why would she say that? Why had multiple people told me over the years that Rachel and Mark had weird chemistry? Why did Rachel always laugh a little too hard at his dumb jokes? Why did he always sit next to her at family dinners, even when I was there? Was I really that blind? That night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't breathe. I went through Rachel's laptop. Yeah, I know, privacy and all, but I was already living in hell at this point. And there it was. A deleted photo in the trash folder. Just one. It was from last summer. A trip we all took to a lake house my parents own. I remembered that trip. I had to leave early for work. The photo was of Rachel and Mark. On the dock. It wasn't explicit, but the way they were looking at each other? That wasn't brother-in-law energy. That was we've seen each other naked energy. I confronted her the next morning. Didn't even sugarcoat it. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, was it Mark? Her face dropped. She went pale, like actually lost all color. And right then, I knew. She didn't even deny it. Just started crying. Said it wasn't planned. That it just happened. That she was drunk and lonely, and that it only happened twice. Twice. With my brother. I left the house that night. Didn't pack anything. Just grabbed my keys and went to crash at a friend's place. Told her not to call me. Told her I'd deal with the rest later. Now I'm sitting here writing this, still trying to make sense of it. She didn't just cheat on me. She cheated on me with the one person I never imagined would betray me like this. My own brother. So I walk out after Rachel admits it was Mark. No dramatic exit. No screaming. I was too numb for that. It wasn't even sadness anymore. It was like my soul hit mute. Just grabbed my keys and left like a zombie. Drove around for an hour before crashing at my buddy Kyle's place. Shout out to him. Dropped everything at 11:30 p.m. and handed me a beer and a blanket like a legend. I didn't tell anyone that night. Just sat there thinking, how the hell do I explain this to my family? Next day, I woke up to like 15 missed calls and texts from Rachel. The usual stuff. Please come home. I'm sorry. I was scared. We can fix this. Think about Emma. I ignored them. But then, Mark called me. Mark. No text. No. Hey man, can we talk? Just straight up phone call, like he had something to say. I stared at the screen for a good 20 seconds before answering. Me? Are you serious right now? Mark. Look, I know you're pissed, but can we just talk? Me talk? UF asterisk kid my wife. Silence. Then he hit me with the fakest, weakest, most cowardly line ever. It just kind of happened. Bro, you just happened into my wife. You tripped and fell into her bedroom. He started going on about how he was in a dark place and felt lonely and how it was never supposed to go that far. Apparently, Rachel had been venting to him about our marriage for months. And I guess one night at the lake house, when I had to leave early for work, they got drunk and things crossed a line. Twice. They crossed a line twice. He kept saying he regretted it, that he didn't mean to hurt me, that he wanted to apologize in person. I told him to go F asterisk CK himself. That was the last time we spoke. I blocked his number and told my parents everything that happened. And that opened a whole new can of worms. My parents were devastated. They didn't want to believe it at first. My mom literally said, maybe there's more to the story. More to the story? Like what, Mom? Maybe Rachel and I just decided to throw Mark a pity hookup? Eventually, the truth sank in, and to their credit, they didn't try to defend him after that. My dad was furious. Said Mark had disgraced the family, which sounds dramatic, but honestly, he's not wrong. Thanksgiving is going to be a war zone from now on. Rachel, meanwhile, went full desperation mode. She showed up at Kyle's apartment 3 days later, eyes puffy, no makeup, wearing one of my hoodies like that was supposed to mean something. Kyle didn't even let her in. Just texted me, your ex is outside looking like a Tumblr apology post. She ended up calling me later, sobbing into the phone. I ruined everything. I love you. I didn't mean to fall for him. I didn't. It wasn't like that. I hung up. That was the first time I felt real anger. Before that, I was too shocked to even feel it properly. But in that moment, I wanted to scream at her. Not just because she cheated, but because she broke everything. My trust, my family, my home. She lit it all on fire. And then stood in the ashes, crying, asking me to help her rebuild. Nah, not this time. As of now, I've started the paperwork for divorce. We're splitting custody of Emma, and don't worry, I'm not dragging my daughter into the middle of this. She's innocent, and I'm going to protect her from all this trash. Mark has been basically exiled from the family. Haven't seen him since. My dad refuses to speak to him. Mom's still heartbroken, but not defending him anymore. Rachel's living at her sister's place. Still texting me things like, I'll always love you, and we can start over. But I'm done. I tried to be the good guy. I tried to forgive. And all it got me was stabbed in the back by two people I love the most. So, at this point, the truth's out. My wife Rachel slept with my brother Mark. Not once, but twice. I moved out. I filed for divorce. My parents basically disowned Mark. I blocked them both. The whole situation was like watching your favorite movie catch fire and melt in front of you. But the thing no one tells you? After betrayal, you don't feel peace. You feel hollow. I won't lie. Those first few weeks after moving out were brutal. I was crashing at Kyle's apartment, sleeping on his pull-out couch, waking up at 3 a.m. with that heavy feeling in my chest like I couldn't breathe. I'd reach for my phone to check if Rachel texted, and then immediately regret it when she did. She kept texting. Every single day. Most of them were just sad, broken little messages. I miss you. Please talk to me. IF asterisk kept up so bad. Emma asked for you today, and I cried in the bathroom for an hour. I wanted to feel bad for her, but mostly I just felt tired. I spent every ounce of emotional energy trying to be a good husband, and it still wasn't enough for her not to sleep with my brother. What's left after that? So I did the only thing I could do. I started rebuilding. I moved into a small one-bedroom rental near my work. Got a cheap couch off Facebook Marketplace, bought plates from Walmart, set up Emma's room with all her favorite stuffed animals for when she stays with me. It wasn't much, but it was mine. My space. My peace. Rachel and I went through the legal stuff like grown-ups. Shocking, I know. Custody is 50-50. I pick Emma up every Thursday and keep her through the weekend. It's been the one pure thing in all this. That kid doesn't even know her parents' lives are on fire. She just wants chocolate chip pancakes and to show me the Lego castle she built. And for that, I'm grateful. But of course, Rachel couldn't let go. 2 months after the split, she showed up at my door. Unannounced. I was watching a movie with Emma, popcorn everywhere, just enjoying one of those rare peaceful nights, when there's a knock. I opened the door, and there she is. Makeup free, hoodie on, hair tied back, looking like the version of her I used to come home to and kiss on the forehead. For a half second, my heart did that thing where it tries to remember the good stuff. And then I remembered the doc photo. I stepped outside, closing the door behind me so Emma wouldn't hear anything. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "He left me." I didn't say a word. She sniffled. "Mark. He told me it was just a mistake. He doesn't want anything to do with me." And I swear read it. I laughed, like actually chuckled out loud. Not because it was funny, but because I didn't have the emotional bandwidth for that level of hypocrisy. She blew up our family, tore my trust to pieces, made me question everything I ever believed about love and loyalty, and then came crawling back because the guy she threw it all away for bailed? Nah, not today. I said, "That's not my problem anymore," and started walking back inside. She grabbed my arm. "Can we just talk?" I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "We did all our talking when you decided to sleep with my brother. Conversation's over." I closed the door. Haven't seen her since, except during Emma pickups. She acts civil, smiles, wears her regret like cheap perfume. But it's too late. And you know what? I'm doing better now. I'm in therapy. I've started going to the gym again. Caught up with old friends I lost touch with during the married and exhausted years. Even thinking about dating again, cautiously and very much not in a hurry. But for the first time in forever, I feel like me again. Not a husband, not a broken man, just me. So like I said in the last post, I've been doing better. I'm still in therapy, still co-parenting Emma the best I can. I even went on 2 actual dates. Nothing serious, just dipping my toes back into the pool of possibly not dying alone. Work's going well, the apartment feels more like home, and I've built routines that don't involve waiting for my phone to buzz with heartbreak. Basically, I made it out of the storm. Not perfectly, but in one piece. And then, last week, Rachel texted me. It was the first personal message in about 3 months. Since that night she showed up on my doorstep, we'd only spoken through dry custody handoffs and a shared Google Calendar. I hadn't blocked her because of Emma, but I muted everything that wasn't logistics. Then this came through, out of nowhere. "I just want you to know I'm pregnant. Don't worry, it's not yours." Yeah, let that sink in for a second. I sat there staring at my screen like, why would she even send that to me? Like I needed that information? Like I needed one last reminder that while I was rebuilding my life from the ground up, she was out there making new life with who knows who, because apparently wrecking one family wasn't enough. But then I reread the message and noticed something weird. "It's not yours." Why say that? We hadn't slept together in over 6 months. I'd moved out long before she sent this. There was zero chance the kid was mine, which means she said that not for my clarity, but for hers. That was guilt speaking. That was her trying to get ahead of some future drama. That was her admitting to herself that she's starting over without me, but still wants a reaction. And for the first time ever, I gave her nothing. Didn't reply. Didn't even open the chat, so she'd get a read receipt. I archived the conversation and went back to making dinner for Emma. Because honestly, that message wasn't a twist. It was a full circle moment. I gave her everything. Love, loyalty, a home, a family. She gave it away for a few nights of ego stroking with my brother. And now, she's rebuilding her mess. Alone. With someone else. Maybe another guy. Maybe a rebound baby. Whatever it is, it's not my problem. My story with Rachel is over. My life is mine again. And it's finally quiet.